Dr. Tyra Hodge here with Parentations. I am live with Curtis Brown from the Curtis Brown Foundation, and also from Battlefield Connections, his show on 100.7 Houston Radio. Hi, Curtis. How are you?
Outstanding. How are you doing, Tyra?
Good. Thank you so much for coming back again. Our last video session, and I was trying to figure out this new streaming app, and it didn't do everything I wanted it to do. And so I wanted to come back because I really feel like your story is for now, and your story is an important one for people to hear. You have gone through so many trials and so many tribulations. And I really want people to hear your story and hear what you have to offer, and mainly to tell us why you do what you do. Go ahead and explain to us a little bit about what you do over there at Curtis Brown Foundation.
Well, what we do is we work with veterans and who need proper health care, who need counseling, and are dealing with PTSD, with addiction, injuries that aren't getting dealt with at the VA, which unfortunately are numerous. Right now, the Houston area houses the highest number of veterans than any other city in the country. And what an amazing time we're in. And so what we do with the Curtis Brown Foundation is get them the health care they need here, get them the treatment for PTSD, the counseling, and for the addiction. The amazing thing, too, is that Memorial Hermann, numerous doctors there have joined our team now, and we're going to be announcing that real soon with the CEO and I filming of them saying we are one, where the Memorial Hermann and the Curtis Brown Foundation have officially teamed up. So we're excited about that. Had lunch with the CEO, Dan Smith, last week, and Dr. Kerr Thompson, which is the chief of staff with Memorial Hermann. He is actually on our foundation board. So we're really excited of what's taking place.
Awesome. And Curtis, I think there's a big misconception about PTSD. A lot of times when we hear that term, we only think about veterans. And I know your outreach is to veterans, but
correct.
Right now with everything going on in our world, unprecedented times. And so with Corona and what's going on, we know that abuse is up right now, whether it's the family abuse, child abuse.
When we look at abuse across the board, as a matter of fact, I will be filming with Judge Kelly Crow next week and Judge Rick Bell, and we're going to talk about these very things that are being challenged right now because of the turmoil going on in the home. We weren't designed to be cooped up as humans.
Right.
Yes, we are relational creations by God, but we weren't designed to be cooped up constantly. We were designed to work. Men were designed to work. And so it's created a stress, the financial stress, because a lot of people aren't working, the stress just because the walls just close in on you. And whether you're a veteran, whether you're just a family unit that has been just overwhelmed by fear. And that's what's happening right now today is people are being overwhelmed by fear. Where do I go? Where do I run? I can't hide from this virus. It's everywhere. And that's a lot of what as a veteran, kind of looking back for many years, struggling with PTSD, not knowing what I was struggling with. I can remember, Tyra, so many times when I would walk in a restaurant, there's two key things I would do. One, look for the guy that I thought would threaten me or my family or whoever I was with the most. And two, get in a place where I can watch everything going on.
Wow.
I just that hyper sensitive mode constantly, and I couldn't relax, therefore when I couldn't come out of that hypersensitive mode, what it created was, even when I'd come home, it was constantly that protective mode. So I never could rest.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but what I'm learning now, and I'm a behavior specialist by trade, so I work with students that have different behavior issues. And what we're finding out is that it's usually that emotional disturbance and some of them are coming in with post-traumatic stress disorder, that it's not just sometimes one issue that makes this extreme behavior, that it's several issues.
Exactly. That's so true.
On top of each other that makes a person neurotic, or that makes their behavior a little out of character, or a little different, or a little creepy, or, however it may look. And so in your experience, with I know you had the traumas of war, you had the traumas of hurting yourself, because all that right there. But, after reading your book, Battlefield Connection, hold it up for him. Hold your book up for me. I don't have
God is bigger.
God is bigger. Yeah, he's the author of God is Bigger, and you can get that wherever online books are sold. But let's go back to your past a little bit, because I want to say, okay, yes, you had the traumas of war and you hurt yourself pretty bad.
Yep.
Your neck. But you had some traumas that started as a child. And
Correct.
So let's getting ready to go back to school, we have to be mindful, because I know that we're probably going to have students that come in that are acting a little different, and probably more than normal now, because some of them are going to have PTSD. Not that I'm pre-diagnosing or that I can diagnose at all, but students are going to come in with these trials and tribulations. And so can you talk about, the beginning of some of your traumas?
I sure will. But first, I want to share a quote that just came to my heart yesterday, and I shared it with you. The prize without the process is invalid.
Wow.
And so what I want to say to people is, look at this as this process of life is preparing us to lead. I think of always of King David, one of my favorite characters. I talk about him in my book, not character, but a real life person. Right. That here he was a young teenager and said, hey, you're going to be king. But God didn't share with him the process to prepare him to lead. But it's through these processes that God is preparing us to lead, he walks us through in life. And we've got to come to the realization, knowing that God is here. We may not see him at times. We may not see him physically. We may not feel him emotionally or even spiritually a lot of times. But his presence is there. We got to look for it. It's like this virus we're walking through, the virus we're fighting against right now. We may not see it, but we can feel the effects.
Yes.
But when we start focusing on God, even though we can't see him, we can start to feel his presence and that peace. And that's what we're looking for right now, is that true peace. We got the world throwing everything at us right now. But you think it threw everything at Jesus, and he overcame. He overcame. Yes, they even killed him, and he rose above death. And so that same spirit as Christians, when God, when his spirit indwells us, his Holy Spirit, we can overcome anything the world throws at us. But that process isn't always the way we think it's supposed to be.
Right. And Jake said something about everything that we learn, during that process, we take with us. And so, not that we're supposed to be caught up in the things of the past, but the things that we learn through these processes, they become relevant, when we need them, when we remember you. And you brought up David rehearsed battles. He rehearsed his battles. He killed the lion and the bear, and so that he could take that uncircumcised Philistine. I believe that David was a little ghetto. He's like, I got this. If I can get this, I got this. And so, but Curtis, you were talking about the process. And so what things have you had a process? I remember reading your book, and you start off, and I don't want to give them too much because I want them to buy the book. But you talk about the struggle you had as a child. You were placed in school, and they wanted to pretty much tell your parents that you could not learn. Is that correct?
Yeah. And my mom just happened to work at the school. And she came in one day, and back then they were what was the name of the classes? I can't remember, but
Behavior
they told me
special ed
they had me in special education classes. And my mom walked in there one day, and she happened to see me in there, and she goes, "Well, why is he not in the room in a regular classroom for kindergarten?" And they said, "Well, he just he's not able to learn." And she goes, "Oh, he's able to learn."
That's
and
right.
She goes, "Well, he won't respond to us." And I went through numerous ear surgeries, and I didn't have. Sometimes my hearing would be faint. Sometimes I wouldn't have it at all. But at this time, my hearing had pretty much came back. I would have to go through numerous more surgeries after kindergarten too. But I could hear. But the thing is I was so used to lip reading. You had to look me in the eye, and I would read your lips.
And that's a gift right there.
Yeah, and so when when my mom got down there, they go, "Well, he won't respond to us. He can't count. He can't say his ABCs." And she goes, "Hold on just a minute." So she sat down in front of me, and she goes, "Curtis, I want you to count to 100. I counted to 100. She goes, "Tell me your ABCs." I told her about ABCs. Spelt my name for her, gave her our phone number. And they were just in awe, like, "How do you do this?" And she goes, "He responded because he knows and trusts me and knows I have his best interest at heart."
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And that's where we've got to come to, and that's teachers are special because when a students realize they have their best interest at heart, there's that bond. A lot of my teachers, you read in my book, I talk about numerous teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Even my kindergarten teacher, when I went to kindergarten a second time, because I didn't, had to miss so much my first time in California. When we came to Oklahoma with Miss Rogers, and still just a dear friend. I love talking to her. I've been trying to get her on the radio show, but
actually, there's not very many teachers that I can remember their names of, but I can say that I remember Miss Baker. She was so wonderful. And I remember Miss Passmore was a good teacher. And that's it. That's all I can remember right at the moment. So, and those were...
It's saying Chrome is causing my phone to overheat, and I would not know why.
Uh-oh.
It's hot outside.
We might... We lost Curtis. We did. We lost Curtis. Well, I'm going to try to get him back in a few minutes. His phone is overheated. But what do y'all think about the post-traumatic stress disorder? And so I know that we have to deal with it. I'm going to pick up the conversation probably this evening I'm going to have a council of teachers with me today. One's going to be talking about a new teachers organization. And another one, our behavior specialist on board, Sherry Burnett, she's going to come on and she is going to talk to us about, things that we can do to prepare children to go back into the classroom. And because a lot of people have to deal with a lot of things. And so we want to make sure that they're ready and that they're comfortable and that their mental capacity is ready to learn, because if they're dealing with all this stress and stuff on the outside, then they cannot concentrate on the inside, or they can't concentrate on schoolwork if they're having to deal with all these things that affect kids. And so students.
Can you there again, Tyra? Hear me? We'll have to reschedule this to where I can get on my PC. So I will set it up where I can get on my PC. For some reason, my phone is overheating and it's kicking it off. So please forgive me. We will make this happen.